from Speaker Mike Johnson. I'm actually gonna repost this because it is 34 minutes long. Not gonna watch the whole thing. Maybe I'll just watch the first minute or so. But he says most liberal media outlets chose not to air the Q&A portion of our press conference today. They hated my answers because the simple truth is a powerful thing. See for yourself. And also my profile, if you have to take a look for yourself, you can scroll down in the description. I've got I don't even know what I say, follow me over on X or something like that. It's in the description. But anyway, here, we'll give this a play and just watch for a minute or so. So it looks like he's going to give a speech first.
All know that the open border was
I want to get to the Q&A. That's where he said that they turned off the cameras. All right, here we go.
Democrats, are you a bunch of our pet project legally care about?
From my own, he is.
All right, here we go.
And stop pandering to the progressive, radical arm of their base.
All right, turn it up a bit.
Right here, yeah, yeah.
Does the president have the constitutional authority just because of a shutdown to lay off thousands of federal government workers or withhold funding for congressionally approved projects that are already being
Yeah, he does. Okay, this is the way the system works.
I don't know if you heard it or not. I couldn't hear it.
Schumer's decision is to hand, as I said on a couple interviews yesterday, the keys to the kingdom to the president, right? He has put himself in that situation, and it's completely unnecessary. The president takes no pleasure in this. The president did not want a shutdown. I'm telling you this from my own testimony. I was in the Oval Office. He pleaded.
No, what Trump is saying, if you want to play hardball, I'm game. I'm President Trump. You don't fuck with me.
With Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries to do the right thing. Keep the government open.
And yeah, dude, they're shutting down Trump's government. They're shutting down all of the tariffs, his cabinet in general. All these different departments are full steam ahead right now. He's rolling out tons of executive orders, getting all kinds of things moving. And for them to just shut down the government, I mean, just to hit a brick wall like that, it makes no sense, man. Trump's been full steam ahead all year long, man. So much shit's been happening. Every day it's something else. In a good way. A lot of good things going on. So it makes no sense that Trump is going to want to have the government shut down. But since the Democrats, they want to play dirty games, Trump's got a hell of a card that he can play, and that is to start firing tons and tons of people in the federal government. And I'm sure Trump's probably going to give them an ultimatum, or he's going to give them a countdown or something. He's going to say, okay, look, we got 50,000 government employees on the chopping block. Democrats, you have 24 hours. I'm not giving you a week. I'm not giving you the weekend. You got 20. Actually, knowing Trump, he'd probably say you got 8 hours, or I'm firing all of these people.
Talk about all these,
and that's just round
later,
one.
That's how the process works. But failing that.
But what do I know? I don't know if that's what he's going to do.
Down, they have now effectively turned off the legislative branch, the Article 2 branch the Article 1 branch of our government, and they've turned it over.
Really? Is that really how it works? So with the government shut down, the legislative branch is effectively closed. So does that mean, for the time being, that President Trump is the legislative branch?
Over to the executive, okay? So in that situation, when Congress turns off the funding and the funding runs out, it is up to the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, to determine how those resources will be spent. He has that.
Oh my God, dude, you gotta love those checks and balances. You gotta love that. That is amazing.
Responsibility given to him by the Democrats and the
by
Senate.
the Democrats.
They can't complain about it, and he doesn't
they're
want
doing
to do it. But in this scenario, what they have to do is make very difficult decisions.
Oh, fuck yeah, those cameras turned off immediately when he started saying this shit. There is no way that they played any of what he's saying right now on the mainstream media. No fucking way.
Most of the responsibility falls to Russ Vought. He's the
director of the
Office of Management and Budget, as you know. Whomever is seated in the chair at OMB during a shutdown has to do the same thing. Russ does this reluctantly. We had a 45-minute telephone conference with him yesterday. He talked to all the House Republicans. He takes no pleasure in this because Russ has to sit down and decide, because he's in charge of that office,
He's talking about the Office of Management and Budget. So essentially going over the federal employee workforce.
Policies, personnel, and which programs are essential and which are not. That is not a fun task. And he is.
Yeah, because when the government shut down, only the most essential can remain operational. And I'm sure it is up to the Office of Management and Budget to determine which positions are non-essential. And therefore, if you put all those employees into a box for non-essential, then President Trump at his leisure can go through and start saying, all right, get rid of them, get rid of them. All right, Democrats, 10 more minutes. Clock's ticking. Here comes 10,000 more. I'm not saying he's going to do that. That would actually not look good on Trump at all or the Republicans, but who knows? I mean, Trump's capable of anything. I mean, I think if one thing the Democrats should have learned after all these years is that you don't mess with Trump. You don't want to get on his bad side, but of course they know nothing but doubling down.
Not enjoying that responsibility. And it could end today if the Senate Democrats would come to their senses and do the right thing for the American people. But if they don't, and if they keep the government closed, it's going to get more and more painful because the resources run out and more things have to be reduced and eliminated. Now, when he sits down,
oh my God, dude, I love that
as
so
the director
much.
of OMB, he will obviously have a subjective determination on the priorities. And what do you think he would do? Because what would any OMB
what would Trump
under
do?
any president? They're going to look to see
You're
for
fired.
the administration's priorities.
Look, that's his big catchphrase. You're fired. And that's like the most famous catchphrase that Trump has. You're fired.
First, and ensure that those are funded.
I mean, firing people, that's what Trump does best.
Those are some very serious determinations that have to be made. We want to protect hardworking federal workers. And these are people who protect
the essential ones.
by the way. We mentioned TSA agents, Border Patrol agents. Our troops,
well, the public doesn't really
military,
like TSA.
are not being paid, and so they're inflicting hardship on people for no reason. Is it constitutional?
Yeah, but I'm not cool with that, though. To have to go to work and not get paid for it, that sucks. That's not good. I think anybody would agree to that at least. But to get rid of the whole TSA thing, I don't think too many people, probably including Democrats for that matter, they probably wouldn't have a particularly big of a problem about that.
Is it lawful? Is it part of our system? Of course it is. It always has been. And the Democrats are the ones who have decided to inflict the pain, not the president.
Nope.
Back row.
Polling showing the American public is on your side. I'm wondering if those layoffs happen in mass, thousands of federal workers are eventually cut from their jobs and programs. Do you worry you're going to sort of lose the support of the public in that scenario?
No, I mean, look, the reason we're
sorry.
talking with
I'm
you
trying
so
to-
plainly today
trying to get it so you
is
can
to
hear it.
explain to every single American citizen why this is happening. How in the world could they blame the people here who have done our job and sent over a clean CR to keep the lights on? There is no gimmick. People say, why aren't you negotiating with Schumer and Jeffries? Because I quite literally have nothing to negotiate. There's nothing I can pull out of the bill that was a Republican priority to say, oh, we won't do that. Why don't you guys vote for it now?
Well, exactly. They've said over and over again, that was a clean CR bill. It was a simple bill for funding. It was just a funding extension. The gist of the bill says that we're going to continue funding the government as it stands right now. We're not adding any of this. We're not adding any of that. It's not a big omnibus bill or anything. It's just a simple funding continuity bill. That's it. And it's only going to be for like 4 weeks. And plus, what the Democrats are demanding, they're all non-starters. We're not going to give illegal immigrants health care. And it doesn't matter how convoluted they want to make it and how much they want to bend over backwards to try to bend the rules and change the wording. We're not going to go for that. It's not going to happen. And I'm really glad that Mike Johnson just said that, because I don't know, man. He's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, kind of skittish. Maybe not skittish, but I haven't been particularly fond of Mike Johnson. But for him to say that, like, I'm really glad he said that by saying, like, look, we got nothing to negotiate with. We're just going to wait for them to come to the table, and that's all we're going to do. And I'm really glad that he said that.
I don't have anything. I didn't put anything in it to send it over. I'm stunned that they have decided to shut the government down and hurt people.
Because they're psychotic.
100%.
They are in
The New York
chaos.
Times poll that was put on the Senate floor yesterday, I think it was, day before, they pointed out to Chuck Schumer, who's from New York, of course, that the New York Times, clearly not a right-leaning organization, publication, has found that 65% of respondents said, please, Democrats, don't shut the government down because you don't get what you want. Many of them remember in New York, of course, what Chuck Schumer and AOC and all the rest. AOC literally said that on the House floor.
Well, what I've been hearing from the Republican side, that the Democrats are getting a lot of demands from their far left base, whatever that means, whether if they're like activist organizations or Democrat-funded NGOs or whatever they might be. Apparently, there's a lot of people in the shadows, a lot of powerful people that hold a lot of strings over the Democrat Party. We're telling them to shut down the government because, I don't know why, because F Trump, I guess. That's always the reason.
Several months back, she said, it's not normal to shut the government down just because you don't get what you want. Well, what changed? What changed? It's on them and not us. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
We've learned that the Senate obviously may take up your bill
Of course they do. Of course they do. And the House is coming back next week, hoping that they will be sending us something to work on, that we can get back to work and do the people's business.
So
They're
you see,
anxious to come back.
Republicans are not on
Senate
vacation.
Democrats, 44 of them, all the pressure should be on the 44 Democrats who are dug in.
Exactly. I'd be like, why the hell are you all standing here, taking up my time? Shouldn't you go chasing after those Democrats that are voting to shut down the government? Why aren't you up their ass? Why are you over here asking me questions when I got nothing to give you? I got nothing to offer you. Like, dude, they shut down the government. What are we going to do? We didn't shut it. They shut it down. Why are you talking to me? Go talk to them. You got over 40 Democrats you can go talk to. Go call their offices. Go bang on their doors. Ask them what the fuck. What the hell's going on?
Try to pander to the far left corner of their base. That's what this is.
That's what I heard too.
To appeal to the radical left of your base and hurt Americans? Because if they drag this on through the weekend, more and more people will be hurt. I want you to think about, I come from a big military district, okay? Louisiana's 4th Congressional District is home to Barksdale Air Force Base and the command of Global Strike. The Global Strike Command is in my district. In the south part of my district, we have Fort Polk and the Joint Readiness Training Center. I have lots of active duty military and lots of veterans. I want you to think about the young airman or the young soldier who's deployed right now, defending our freedom,
they're not getting
all
paid.
of us in America's interest. And they've left, I think of this one particular family. This gentleman is deployed. He's got a young wife at home, and they have 3 small children under the age of 6. She's not going to get a paycheck as long as Chuck Schumer's playing political games up here. They don't have a big, I know this family well, they don't have a large tranche of savings, okay? This is going to be a serious hardship. She won't be able to make the car note. She won't be able to maybe pay for groceries for the kids because Chuck Schumer's up here playing games to pander to the far left of his space. It's outrageous. Real people are getting hurt. Veterans are not getting health care services. We have suicide prevention programs, okay, that will not be funded because of this. This is not a game. FEMA services, if your flood insurance lapsed right now and you need to renew it, you can't do that right now. We have hurricanes off the coast of the United States right now. If you buy a home and flood insurance is...
That's annoying they keep using that political talking point. These hurricanes, they're pretty much, it's a done deal by now. They are so far offshore, they weren't even threatening the coast at all. Except, I will say though, except North Carolina. The Outer Banks of North Carolina, they did lose some houses. I saw some footage of that online where there were houses that were up on stilts because the rough waters from the hurricanes offshore actually took down some of the beachfront houses that were up on stilts, just knocked them over. So yeah, there was a little bit of damage from the hurricanes that were well offshore that FEMA may or may not have been some help for those people. Although I don't think, a whole lot of people are going to be all smashed to pieces about people losing their really nice beachfront houses. I'm not exactly going to cry a river for them. They were probably very well insured having a house on the freaking beach.
Required, which is in so many places around the country. You can't close on your home right now because Chuck Schumer and 43 friends in the Democrat friends in the Senate are making a game out of this. It is ridiculous. It is irresponsible and dangerous. We'll come in at any hour, at any day to get the job done, but they won't. Yes.
Yep.
Conservatives are very
Elective
concerned
abortions.
about the subsidies. Not only that, but they're subsidizing not American citizens, they're subsidizing insurance companies with that, which has driven premiums up. It's got lots of problems, okay? I was in the Oval Office with the President, with Leader Thune, Leader Jeffries, and Leader Schumer a few days ago. And Leader Thune rightfully said to Chuck Schumer, that is a red herring in this, and you all know it. That is the subsidies that you're referring to don't expire until December 31st. We're at the end of September.
Oh, well, Democrats kept saying November 30th. They kept telling me November 30th. That's what I kept reading.
You're trying to take a December policy issue and insert it into this discussion about whether we're going to keep government operating for the people. That is a ploy. They've done that simply so that they can show a fight against Trump and Republicans. Let me tell you what that is all about. There'll be lots of thoughtful discussion, deliberation, and debate about that because there's lots of opinions and it needs major reform. Leader Thune told Leader Schumer very clearly in front of the President, before that's even considered, you have to take on real reforms to address those issues. And they demonstrated right there in front of the president. He saw it for himself. That's not a simple issue. That's going to take weeks to deliberate and discuss and debate. But that's the beauty of the process. We have 3 months to do that. That is not an issue for today. Today, the only issue is whether they're going to vote to keep the government operating for the people. Clear, plain and simple. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker? Democrats want to not only have health insurance for illegals, but some of your Democratic colleagues over in the Senate are also talking about DEI programs that Democrats want to bring back. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, there's all sorts of... Remember, we sent over a 24-page clean CR. They sent over this thing that you'll have to see on my website to believe it yourself. But it's all chock full of all sorts of
Link
crazy
below in
things
the
that they
description.
want to restore. And DEI has always been one of their big priorities. They want to spend remember, $1.5 trillion new dollars of spending is what they're demanding to keep the lights on around here. It's absurd, and they should know it. They're all wrapped around the axle about these woke progressive programs being ended, but that's what the election was about. That woke progressive
Kitty jumped
stuff
up here.
is what the American people rejected. Some of our Democrat colleagues here are doubling, tripling down on it. Good luck with that. Good luck with that for the midterm election.
Today, the White House with Mr. Vogt, the president posted on Truth Social this morning that the meeting is to determine which of the Democrat agencies they recommend to be cut. This is in addition to the money for New York, for the transit funding being cut, and in addition to blue states seeing their energy funding cut. Two questions on this.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Do you think this is political?
You know, why aren't you banging on those Democrats' doors and asking them about that? You know, why the hell are you putting the fine people of New York City with their transit system? Why are you causing problems for them? They're trying to get the tunnel and part of the subway like revamped or something like that.
Targeting, is that appropriate? And then in addition,
No.
HUD had on its agency webpage blaming radical Democrats for this. Is that an appropriate use of taxpayer money being overtly political? It's something we haven't seen before.
I think
It is the Democrats' fault, dummy.
what the HUD website says is the objective truth that we're telling you right now. There are 44 Democrats in the Senate. And by the way, every Democrat in the House except one who voted to shut the government down. They are the ones that made that decision. The White House and the executive branch take no pleasure in this. But when they are
Nope, they
tasked
didn't do it.
with determining what their priorities are, obviously they're going to follow their principles and priorities and not the other team. That's the results of an election that everybody voted in, the popular election and electoral college. I am. And that's why I'm pleading with the entire country to call your senators, your Democrat senators, the 44 people who want to shut the government down. You should call them right now and tell them to get here and get to work and open the country.
I would, but I don't have any Democrat
Many of you
senators.
asked me this morning about
Thank God.
sombreros and memes and why Hakeem Jeffries is all alarmed by that. But look, these are games. These are sideshows. People are getting caught up in.
But if you do, take his advice.
Battles
Call him.
over social media memes. We've got to keep this is not a game. We've got to keep the government open for the people. I don't know why this is so complicated. And to my friend Hakeem, who I was asked about, man, just ignore it. I mean, Gavin Newsom was trolling me last night. He painted
Oh, yeah,
me
I'm
like
sure
a
he was.
minion. He painted me yellow with big glasses and overalls. And I thought it
Oh,
was
they all butthurt about the sombrero.
hilarious. You don't respond to it. For all my friends. For all my friends.
They're just mad because they're not only the Republicans, but the right in general. They meme way better than the left.
R's
does.
and D's. Don't respond to it. Get to work, do the people's business, and let's get on with it. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm glad that I finished that Q&A. That was pretty revealing, man. And that definitely gives me some hope that the Republicans aren't going to cave to any of these demands. Especially just his tonality of how he said that. He's like, we have nothing. We would, but we don't have anything that we can give them. There's nothing we have. We're just sitting here with our hands in our pockets, just waiting for him to walk in. And, you know, as he alluded to, go talk to them. You got 43 Democrats. You should be knocking on their doors. Go and ask them. Like, what the fuck are you all doing? Y'all are insane.